back to the vlog. I'm so sorry, it has been forever since I last uploaded a vlog. I'll just say I'm back. I have lots of plans for vlogs and sewing chat, and I can't wait to get back to sharing my makes with you. I've realised I can't really keep up with what has almost become the norm in sewing vlogging this last year maybe, is the whole monthly plans and then monthly sew and tell, which I really love watching everyone that does that, but I just can't keep up with it. I'm just not that type of sewer. So I'm going to change it up a little bit, and it's probably going to be more of a seasonal sewing plans, and I just have some different ideas which I'm excited to give a go and share them with you. So anyway, today it's going to be all about my sewing room. Yay! I've been wanting to share my sewing room with you all for ages, but there's always been little bits and bobs that needed finishing off, some bigger than others, the main one being I used to have a really horrible old brown carpet in here, and it was just, I mean, a sewing room with a carpet is not great, and then this was a horrible brown one and it was just horrible, and I've always wanted to get rid of it. So this summer, while my husband was off, he's a teacher, he very kindly took some time and did it for me. I did help him, but he did the bulk of it really. So now I have a lovely white wooden floor, and it is amazing, so I can't wait to share it with you. And I think everything is nearly there. I have a couple of little things to do which I'll certainly point out when I'm showing you around the room. But anyway, let's get started. Yay! Hi guys, and welcome to my sewing room. This is the view that you get as you walk in the door. It's a pretty small room, and I use it for both a sewing room and a guest room when people come to stay. So I've had to be careful with the furniture I use and how to make it a multifunctional room. So I'm excited to show you those little tricks and tips as well. But what I'm going to do first of all is just give you overviews, and then we'll zoom in on things. But it's nice to just for you to be able to stand back and see what it looks like as much as possible that I can fit in the frame. Anyway, this is my main sewing area. This desk here, and it was another thing that my husband did over the summer. It was just a brown pine desk, and he's sanded it down and painted it white, and I've got these really cute little ceramic buttons for the handles, so adorable. I got them online. If there's anything here that I think I can link to, I will put the links down in the description box down below if you want to check it out. If not, ask me in the comments and I'll try my best to send you a link if you're interested in where I've got anything from. The chair here is IKEA, and it's pretty much how I decided my colour scheme for the room. I wanted everything to be light and bright, so there's obviously a lot of white in here, but I need a bit of colour because, you know, I love patterns, I love colour, it's got to have a bit of colour in. So this is I've got a lovely turquoise colour, and I've tried to bring that into the room here and there and about. So that's why these are sort of a turquoise colour. They're not exactly the right shade, but they're close enough. And then my curtains are also from IKEA, and I just shortened them to be that height because I know it's nice to have curtains that go down to the ground, but it's just not practical or functional in this type of a room. Anyway, this is where I keep my sewing machine and my overlocker when I'm not sewing. Everything's nicely tucked away. Again, another IKEA piece here. This is probably in almost every sewing room around the world. And it's one of those tables that folds out, and there's drawers either side. So I will show you the setup when I am sewing later on in the vlog. And then this is my sort of sewing wall. It's a bit of fun, it's decoration, but it's also functional. Here's a close-up of the main part of my sewing wall. I've got this thread holder from the internet. I will link it below. I think it was either eBay or Amazon, I'm not sure. This is just the kitchen stuff from IKEA. A lot of stuff in my house is IKEA, I have to admit. And I've got all my scissors in here, other cutting tools and marking tools in there, some more marking tools and the all important seam rippers in there, my seam gauge. I hang all my multitude of measuring tapes here, as well as French curves, metal rulers, plastic rulers, and my snips that I keep on a long piece of ribbon here as well. Along here is, that's a Kath Kitson radio, it's very cute, and these are filled with different bits and bobs like safety pins, snaps, sewing machine needles, buttons, some pins, bits and bobs like that really. Again, just another quick close-up here if you're interested. It's more decor that I've done here. This is just different fabric pieces that match the colour scheme in here that I've put into embroidery hoops, and then I've got 3 clipboards here that I hang sewing patterns on that I'm either going to be working on soon or are just sort of inspirational, or else I'll put up photographs from magazines and catalogues that again I find inspirational. This is, not really happy with this little bit here yet, I'm still working on it. Just a few wee bits and bobs really, pins and whatnot really, and a couple of cacti. And down there is my cork board, which I keep changing how I utilise. At the moment it's empty. So anyway, on to the next wall in my room. Guys, it's really hard to show you this wall because I can't fit it all into the shot. But this is what it is. Again, IKEA, 2 big drawer sets full of sewing supplies, which I will show you close up. These are all IKEA as well, boxes of storage, and this pulley-outy thing here. That's a giant mirror on the wall as well, and I think you can see Florence. She is my dress form of sorts. She's more a store mannequin. I was walking past a shop that was closing down and they were selling everything, so I actually went in and I said, "Are you selling your mannequins?" And I got it for a tenner. So she's handy for pinning things and whatnot, but she's a lot smaller than me, so she's not very good for fitting issues, but she's good for hemming and, you know, just sort of visualizing things as well. It's great. If you can see over this side here, I've got 2, I saw this idea on the internet. I'm sure lots of people have done it before. Again, it's IKEA. I'm like poster girl for IKEA at the moment. It's for storing plastic bags under the stairs or whatever. You can use it like that. But I've got my wrapping paper in it, and I've also got my pattern paper in it as well. So that's great. And then down there is my steamer, and my iron is fixed to the wall. I'm not sure if you can see that, but it's great because it means I just tuck it out of the way when I'm not using it, which is great. Okay, so in these top drawers I have sewing patterns in here and in here. These are my paper patterns, which I will actually show you in more detail in another vlog coming up. So I'm going to show you the other drawers now. Okay, so in the rest of these drawers down here is my fabric stash. Oh, do I dare show you or not? Only kidding, of course I will. So in here I have lots of wovens of different sorts. Similar to the sewing patterns, I'm going to show you my fabric stash in more detail in another video. If you're interested, let me know if you are. More viscose and denims down here. And my jerseys. I love my stripes. And here is thicker jerseys and wools and whatnot. Okay, so on this side, these top 2 drawers, are not particularly interesting. This is my very messy quilting cotton stash, a little bit of jersey in there. I haven't really organised that because I don't use them very often. And this is actually wrapping things. So nothing to do with sewing. There's like gift bags and stuff like that in there. Down here, oh look, more fabric. More cottons, and these are my sort of silks and very drapey fabrics down across there. Okay, change the camera angle so you can see this properly. This is lace collection. I got a huge bag load of lace trims and stretch laces and all different things like that off eBay when I first started sewing. That's a whole other vlog or blog post, to be honest, but anyway, I've kept most of them, but I've used very few of them. That's felt supplies there. This is tracing carbon paper in different colors there, and a little bit more of my pattern paper. This is a craft knife set. I said to my husband, oh, for Christmas, could I get a craft knife? A craft knife, one knife. He buys me this. I mean, whatever. Anyway, I will always have access to a craft knife then. And in that box there is, again, a whole pile of zips. They're not the greatest zips. Again, I bought them on eBay, giant bulk buy. Didn't need to do that. That is a bit of headband messing around with I was doing. This, what is in here? Oh, zip. This is actually zips from garments, you know, like secondhand or charity shops. Garments or garments that I was going to be throwing out, dresses and skirts and whatnot, and I've salvaged the zips, which, you know, I might then go on to use. Okay, next drawer down. Again, a multitude of different things, but this is my interfacing of different types. This is the oh gosh, what am I talking? Iron-on interfacing. That's a bit of silk organza, so that's separate. And this is sew-in interfacing. I used to make bags before I made clothes, so I have quite a lot of that type of interfacing. And then it's other little bits and bobs. Over here I have my elastic stash. In there is ribbons and trims, my glue gun, fabric glue. In here I have seam tape interfacing, keyring hooks. You know, there's always random things you've got to store somewhere, so you know, they're in that drawer there. Oh, and that last drawer down there that's as far as I can open it, really, because it's jam-packed full of odds and ends bits of fabric. You know, those little bits that you can't bring yourself to throw away? Yeah, they get squished in there. And here is the other side of the room, essentially the guest room side. This is a day bed from IKEA that pulls out to a king-size bed, but when I'm not using it, it is a nice sort of sofa relaxing area when I'm contemplating what to make next. I've got some shelves on the wall back there at the top on far left, and they have my sewing books, sewing magazines, and just some trims for decoration, really. And to the far left hand side of the day bed is where I store things like my cutting mat and large rulers and things like that. Here's a quick close-up of my day bed here. I know there's a lot of people that quite liked my little cushion that says happiness is homemade. I just couldn't resist it. It was just so appropriate for this room. It's actually from Asda, believe it or not. It costs like £6, ridiculous. And it goes with the range that the bedding is as well, which is new in this season. Again, that's from Asda as well, that I've covered the day bed with here. It's actually a double or king size duvet cover, which I'll use for when guests are coming, but I just fold it up neatly to cover the day bed the rest of the time. Okay, so here's a look through the drawers that are underneath my day bed. It's just more fabric. This is actually clothes of mine that I've either made or have bought that I want to refashion eventually, and just more fabric that doesn't fit into those other spots. That's some quilt batting there. These folders here, they're sort of plastic zippy folders, are how I store my projects that are on the go at the moment. So this is my True Bias Ogden cami. That's my pattern there, and instructions if there are any, and then this is the fabric cut out ready to go. So I just store everything in there that I'm planning on doing. This is a larger folder here. Again, you know, I just put all my pieces, all my fabric information, if I've got buttons and stuff or zips, everything just goes in there, and then I can pull that out when I want to start my project again. Okay, and the other two drawers are a bit boring. It's literally just cushions and odds and ends and scraps like that, so I won't even bother sharing them, okay? And finally, I just want to show you where I store my ironing board when I'm not actually sewing. It's just a couple of hooks on the back of the door, and then I hang it up and it's out of the way, and then I take it down again when I want to use it. So really handy to just have little things like that that you can store everything away neatly and takes up as little space as possible, which is really important in my tiny house. So this is my sewing setup. I hope I'm in focus. What I think is a really ergonomic way of sewing is having your sewing machine here, be able to twist around, use my overlocker over here, and then again twisting around over this way, have my ironing board at the same height as everything else. I don't even need to stand up in between sewing seams, whatever. Iron switched on, it's plugged in around the corner. I bought an iron with a really long lead to help that as well, and I can just iron my seams and everything just flows really nicely. Okay, now that I have my sewing space set up properly, I can show you what's in these drawers, because obviously I thought about what I wanted to have near me while I'm sewing. So in my top drawer I have my bobbin case. I also have, that's just like a pin cushion with some pins in it, more pins there, and more needles, etc. in there. Oh yes, I also have, is it this one? Yeah, in here I also have all my sort of sewing machine feet, and in the other box in there, sorry about the noise, this is all my overlocker paraphernalia that I need, and tweezers and whatnot are all in there as well, so I have that really close to hand. Okay, next drawer down I have, can you see it, all my overlocker threads, and here is a pressing ham, so it's right next to my ironing board while I'm sewing. And the final drawer down here is my sleeve press, and then I've actually just got more bits and bobs, more than things that I would need really close to hand. These are all, so you know what, a lot of that was just shoved in there. There's the truth. Okay, and I'll show you what's in the drawers on the other side. Right, the drawers on the other side of my work table are things that I don't really need to access readily while I'm in the middle of sewing, but you know, they just need a storage space essentially. So top drawer, we have
lots of, I think they're called cam snaps. I went a bit OTT with that. Wanted to make a couple of bibs for my son. I don't think I need that many, do I? And there's the machine to use it with. This is binding feet and some clips. Nice little set I got for Christmas. There's more clips. Set in focus. They're really useful for, you know, if you can't pin something, you just use these clips instead. These pins are for quilting. What's in here? Oh, that's steel binding. I think everything's out of focus, really sorry. Steel binding and all the channels that you need for that. The next drawer down is not got a lot in it, has it? Let's just move that a bit so you can see it and see if I can focus it. Excuse me. Okay, it's not particularly exciting. I have wooden balls, pom-poms, googly eyes, and little gems. Oh, that's exciting. And down there I have fabric paint and embroidery thread. So, here we go. So there you go guys, that's a quick tour of my sewing space. I hope you enjoyed it and ask me any questions you might have about where I got anything from or any other things that might have cropped up that you are curious about, and I will try and get back to you as soon as possible. And as I said during the vlog, I'm planning on doing a closer look and talk through my sewing pattern stash as well as my fabric stash, so stay tuned for those videos which will be coming up soon as well. Until then, see you soon, bye!